Good morning, happy pot lovers. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Pat Webb. Pat's Pot Page is my channel. Pat Webb's Pots is my pottery name. This is a Cone 6 electric manual kiln firing, and there are a lot of test pieces in here. Today is May 8th, 2025, Thursday. So this is our cone pack. And some people in the past have mentioned that they had trouble with the cone sticking. So just a suggestion, I have kiln washed my cone holder and it prevents the cones from sticking, so they last a lot longer. That's something you might want to try. Lots and lots of glaze tests in here, new to me glazes. This is the top to a mushroom incense burner. Manganese wash wiped back underneath. So Nat at Mud Magic, if you want to play Guess That Jungle Gems, I'll give you a moment to guess. This is just a straight Jungle Gems, and it is Kaboom. And let's see. This one, again, manganese wash and Guess That Jungle Gems. This one should be pretty easy. That is Cheetah. This is the base for this one, and it is birch. And then, nope, I'm sorry, that's not the base for that one. This is the base for this one, which I believe, I'll have to look back at my notes, and I don't think I wrote it down, but I think this was autumn purple with Kaboom over it. And that turned out pretty interesting for a mushroom. I would not like it on a pot, but it goes on there like that. This is birch, manganese wash with a little bit of birch over it. So you would put your incense in here, and then it comes out down there, kind of like the spores of a mushroom. So, yeah, that turned out okay. The rest of the holders are down lower. And Guess That Jungle Gems. That is Ladybug. Again, manganese wash wipe back underneath. This is a flower that was inspired by Ceramics by Jazz, and I'll have to clean the stilt marks up. I don't want to cut myself on that. So this was actually two different molds. This was one mold, and then the little petals here were a separate mold. And this was pearl white and textured autumn, I believe. I will put it on the screen later because it is in my notes, but it's not in my brain at the moment. Okay. And one more little flower. And this has nichrome wire for a hanger. And again, I will put the glazes on the screen. One hint with your stilts, if you wax the tips of your stilts, they don't stick quite as bad to the glaze. I did not do that this time. Didn't think about it until I was out here loading the kiln, so it didn't get done. All right, let's see how these did. Did they stick? Maybe. Yeah, I may have to take a Dremel and get those loose. The glaze ran. These are lids to, oh, that one broke loose. These are lids to some travel mugs that are down further in the kiln. Oh, not a train. All right, let me pause you. Okay, apparently they're jockeying around the cars. They load sand down the street. So there's the other lid. This is frosted topaz with a little bit of micro pearl on here. So you can see better where the micro pearl is, and then this is frosted topaz, 3 brushed coats. All right, set those aside for later. This is the new Spectrum mirror. And that turned out beautiful, but it says to only use it on a flat surface because it will run. And fuzzy peach on the outside. Not too bad where they overlapped a little bit. I wanted to barely test that. Yeah. This is the lid. A little plucking there. There must have been something on the shelf. This is the lid to this guy. So we will take a look at that in a minute. And there was a swirl in here of black engobe, which you can just barely see there. And then it is reactive red with pearl white over top. So set that aside. These little hearts are just fidgets. I may need pliers to get those stilts off of there. Oh, all right, we'll get that one later. It is down in the bottom of the kiln. All right, get rid of these guys. And we'll take a look at the toothbrush holder. Okay, toothbrush. This is a toothbrush holder. Again, all of these are Laguna Frost porcelain. This one did crack in the drying. That was my fault. I overstressed it when I was trimming. Not a big deal. It's a test piece anyway. But again, this was kind of a ceramics by jazz motivated thing. And I don't know if I have a video of making this or not. If y'all are interested how I made it, I can make a video of it. But there's petal molds that I use, stick to petals on here. And this is parakeet yellow and fuzzy peach, red gold around the rim. And I put some other colors in the texture and wiped it back. So I will put all of the glazes up on the screen for you. Your toothpaste will go in there. Your toothbrushes go there. Yep. So that was a success. I think in the future I'll make the toothpaste holder a little bit taller. All right, let's get this shelf out of here. Wiggle, wiggle, make sure there's no kiln post stuck to it. This one I'm excited for. Let's see how we did. Didn't pluck. A little running right there, but it's okay. That's savable right there. And this is a yarn bowl. And the yarn comes out right there. And what did I do on this? Okay, so this was made with the air pen through the bowl. And then I took the air pen and did all of the little curlies. Hand built the face, the nose, eyes, and feet are black engobe, covered with mixing clear, Amico mixing clear. There was manganese wash, which I probably could have left a little bit more on. I put it on and wiped it back. I didn't want it too strong, and I didn't want it to run too much because pearl white can run also. Didn't get much in the way of warping here. I'm happy about that. No sharp edges. The inside is just pearl white. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty cute. This is another one of the mushroom incense burner. This is the lid. The base is down further in the kiln. This is the base to one of these. They'll fit on like that, and the incense goes down in there. Birch on this. This one does not have a cracked base. Some of them do. This was hand built, well, actually wheel thrown and then kind of morphed and cut. The holes in it are so that the incense can get enough air and breathe. But yeah, that's kind of cute. I have to try it and see, because putting the incense down in there and lighting it may be a little bit cumbersome. All right. Uh-oh. That feels stuck. Let's go with this guy first. All right, this one is black engobe, and I did wax resist using a stencil. And the stencil is plastic, so it didn't stick as tight to the pot as I wanted it to. But it still came out kind of cool looking, kind of a flower design. And then this is reactive red over the black, and then pearl white overlap there, and a little bit of soft red up there, and then pearl white on the inside, and overlap of the obsidian. So we have a base coat of obsidian. It was dipped in. I have obsidian in the dipping, and then black engobe was underneath, and it went up in kind of a wavy line. I probably should have tested that black engobe to see if the reactive red would react with the black engobe. But, and then this is the lid. I'm not real thrilled about how the lid matches. So, all right. There's that one. The lid fits, though. That's a good thing. Okay. So this was another of the air pen, just doodling, playing around. And I had a gunmetal green on the rim, and then the whole thing was covered in glacier. And I'll have to put which glacier it was, because I used Amico's glacier, but I also used Spectrum glacier, I think it was. But I will put on the screen what it was. Charms! And by the way, if you do a lot of these little charms, these ceramic rods, alumina rods, do not bend. So, yeah, so we've got a butterfly, a bee, a flower, another flower, that was micro cerulean, micro jade, I think. And then the leaf kind of stuck. This was a glacier. And that kind of ran a little bit. Ah! All right, hold on. The joys of living at a railroad crossing. Okay. All right, this is a test tile. This is just red gold on this side, and I did 1, 2, and 3 coats. And then on the other side is red gold with dark flux on one side and light flux on the other side, I believe, but it ran down here, so I can't see. But I don't like the flux with it anyway, but that turned out really nice. So with the red gold, I think the in frame, let's focus. There we go. I think with the red gold, I need to do thicker than I've been doing in the past, because I don't like this right here, but I like that right there. That's beautiful. All right, every single one of these, it looks like stuck. Nope, that one didn't. That is micro cerulean on a petal, and I'll just make that into a pendant. This is a leaf stuck. Yeah, they all did. So we have a leaf that is micro jade, I believe. And then a smaller petal in there and a flower. One of the petals broke off of the flower, but that's okay. All right, I'll get that loose later. Oh yeah, nice big drip on the shelf. Okay, and then we have Ladybug, and that was Ladybug Jungle Gems. Oops, there went another one. Anyway, these were all tests of different glazes, and they'll make pendants, earrings, different things like that. They all have nichrome wire in there, and the wire fired pretty good, actually. It didn't turn black. I was afraid because I've been seeing things posted online by people saying that they got some nichrome wire and it totally disintegrated when they fired to cone 6, but this did okay. So, good to know. Now let's see if I can get that off. I don't know if I can without damaging it. Yeah, I can save that. I absolutely can save that. It'll take a little grinding, but don't cut yourself, Pat. Okay. But yeah, okay, so this was obsidian dipped up to here. And then we had reactive red, soft red, and micro pearl, if I'm not mistaken. And this was a carafe for Dante of Earth Nation Ceramics Dirty Potters Challenge number 5, I think it was. So there are some wine goblets down in the bottom that will go with this. Hopefully they didn't run like that. I don't think they had as much glaze on the bottom, but we shall see. But, uh-oh, something stuck. All right, hold on to that so it doesn't fall off. Yep, got some shelf work to do there. Let's look at the next shelf. I don't see any major problems. I see some that look like successes, and I see the 2 pieces that I dropped down in there. One of them still came off. That's good. And we got a solid cone 6 in the bottom. Okay, let's take a peek. All right, this one I tried birch and cordovan, and then spots of dark flux and light flux, and I really don't like that. I may need to do another coat of the cordovan over it and refire it. And the inside was pearl white, and I think cordovan on the rim. So, yeah, I've seen other people do this, and it was absolutely beautiful. This had we plucked a little bit. This had a stain on it that I did, and it burned out. So I'll just sand that off. It was a red stain. I don't know. I'll have to live with that and see. It's kind of, I'm not wild about the colors, but the patterns are really cool. Let's see our wine goblets. Okay, so that was soft red over the obsidian, I think. Obsidian was up to here. Let's see. Can you see the goblet? Is it in screen? There we go. Okay, obsidian was up to here. And then the red came all the way down. Maybe reactive red. So one of them was smoky merlot and the other one was reactive red. I think the smoky merlot was on the tall lidded jar. So these were reactive red, soft red, pearl white, and maybe micro pearl. So yeah, that one turned out. And that one turned out. Yeah, you can see the micro pearl crystals in here. So kind of cool. I'll have to live with that a little and see how I like it too. This is for a sake set, which is still part of that challenge. And this was, it's green. It's not ivy. I'll think of it in a little while and put it on the screen. Frosted lemon, bougainvillea, maybe shallot. autumn purple at the top and then overlapping, and I had a band of frosted lemon here and here to help them, because frosted lemon will make things run. That plucked a little bit too. Interesting. And I had just kiln washed my shelves using that new Mako kiln wash, so not sure what's going on there. I might have to mix my own kiln wash. Okay. This is a test of the new Mako something jade. Again, I'll put it on the screen. Oil jar. Okay, so this was a test also because these were swipes of the dark brown engobe. And it's interesting how they reacted. There's pearl white poured in and down to about there. And then this was glacier. So that's kind of interesting how they made that darker. Some of them got covered up because they were more down here. You can see a little bit of it there where the pearl white came down. And this is an oil jar, and that's the glacier in the bottom and then wiped back. Totally covered up where I scratched my signature into the side. And the oil jar, the oil stopper will go in there. I like a handle on them so that you can pour them easily. Okay, yeah, that worked out all right. There's another oil jar, and this was micro pearl. What did I do there? Textured autumn, I think. I like iron luster better, I believe. I like the colors in iron luster, but that's okay. And then textured autumn wiped back in the bottom. Again, it covered up where I scratched in my signature. And textured autumn on the inside, poured in and then dumped out. Got a little running right there where they met. Nice size little oil jar. All right, mushroom holders, incense burner. Incense burner. Okay. And that one was cracked before I put it in the kiln. And then this one, you would put your cone of incense right here. And this goes on top like that. And the idea is that it comes out holes that are in the sides here. It is supposed to be a morel mushroom, and I will have to modify that design so it's a little bit more stable. Again, test pieces, testing the concept. All right, this is, I did write on the bottom, I thought. And it covered up the number. So I want to say that's glacier. Definitely parakeet yellow with dark flux and light flux. Actually, it's dark flux under and dark flux over. So over, under, I think. Okay, and that was the line it went to. And you can see where coyote parakeet yellow. You can see where I stopped the glaze right there, but it did show that line. And then this test piece is Smoky Merlot 1, 2, and 3 coats. Am I in frame? I think so. And then dark flux under and dark flux over on the Smoky Merlot. And The over's kind of cool. I'm not sure about the under. All right, this was the timber, the new Mako Glaze Dark Timber. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It kind of sort of covers the texture. This was Amico's Ancient Copper. And then on top was Muddy Waters. And then inside was birch, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to compare the Ancient Copper to the Floating Copper and see which one I like better. And a lot may come down to how it's available, because if it comes in a dry form that I can mix, I would much rather have that than a bottle that I have to brush, because it saves me time. This is just a little cup in the Ancient Copper, and that'll be just a little pendant. And there's the heart charm. Oh no, it looks like something fell in that one. So a couple things I did different this time. I raised my lower shelf up. There's the ladybug. And these are just silicone sprig molds that I make these with. Raised my bottom shelf up because my bottom shelf was not firing hot enough. So you can see we got a good solid cone 6 on that. And again, these are not sticking. They pop off. So yay on the kiln wash. And now this one had, yeah, that is something stuck in the glaze down in the bottom there, but that's okay. This one had a little chip here and a chip here where I cracked it going into the bisque. I cracked one of the flowers off. This is frosted lemon and spectrum frosted topaz, and then pearl white on the inside. And the lid goes in like that and then turns so you can drink it. This lid was a little bit small. I made a spare. This one should fit. So if you put it in this way and then turn it, it will stay. You can turn it back here so that it doesn't spill, as not as likely to spill. And then when you want to drink, you turn it like this. And I'm out of frame, so let's try that again. So you put the lid in like that and turn it slightly, and it should stay in and help keep things from splashing out. And when you want to drink, you just turn it a little bit and you can drink. And again, we had frosted lemon, frosted topaz, and the inside was pearl white. So I do have a spare lid going in one of the next firings. It didn't make it into the last bisque load. So we'll try this one and see if the lid works. And this one did not get something inside of it. So let's see. This lid may work better on here. All right, so this little nub right here, I don't know what that is. Glaze? I'll have to grind that down. But let's see. Yeah, this lid fits this one. So this may be my travel mug. And then again, these little flowers were done with sprig molds and added on. I'll give you a interesting fidget place to put your thumb. So yeah, so turn it like that, and it keeps it from splashing out. Yep, so I'll drink some coffee out of this later today. No cracks in the bottom there. Again, the drip went, of course, right over where I signed my name. I didn't sign that one. I'll have to put some, I'll put some stroke and coat on there to sign it and run it through a bisque load. But this will be a second anyway, because it's got that little, I don't know what dropped in there. And then it's got a little bit of a flaw on the rim in 2 places. Nothing that affects the use. It's not sharp in any way. But, yep. All right, guys. Do all the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Working on getting up to 1,000 subscribers. Let's see. Kiln favorite today. I'm torn. I like that. I think I still need to work a little bit on the design, but I like it. But I think overall, the kiln favorite has to be the yarn bowl. I think they just turned out super cute. Or maybe this guy. That turned out pretty as well. Let me know what you think as far as the kiln favorite goes. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make the best of it regardless. And I thank you for watching. Let's take a look here real quick if I can do it without making you dizzy. We've got those guys, and we've got all those guys and those guys right there. So enjoy your day and stay centered. Bye.